Hey, it's finally time to practice. We spent some time diagramming the inch and breaking down the fractions and decimal equivalents. What good is it if we don't use it, right? And it's not like riding a bike. If you don't use it, you're going to lose it. So on the engineeringconcepts.us activity page, you should find a PDF handout that says inch practice, I think. If I can't give this to you, you should be able to print one yourself. Make sure the printer settings are set to 100% or 1-to-1 scale. And we're going to put the ruler on the paper and we're going to take some measurements and see how we do. All right, let's get started. All right, so here's the sheet I was telling you about. You can see on here we have an outline of a shape. This is probably just a flat two-dimensional shape with two holes in it. And we want to measure to certain points on the shape so that we can document its size. The directions say measure and record the dimensions on the geometric shape below at a scale of 1-to-1, which means full scale. Use decimal inches within the nearest eighth of an inch. So if there's any kind of a question, you're going to round it to the nearest eighth. But then we're going to record the dimensions using 3 decimal places. Now, the black lines here are the outline of the object. The red lines, we're going to talk about some line types in the future, but these are called dimension lines and extension lines. This red line right here extends out from the very bottom right of that plate. And there's another one up here from the top. It extends out. There's a little gap there. And usually they're the same color. It might be a little bit lighter in line weight, these lines. But these extension lines are telling you where to measure to and from. And then the dimension lines have the arrowheads on there. And you're going to record your measurement in the space that's provided. That was vertically oriented. This one's horizontal, so from the bottom left to the bottom right, that dimension is going to go in here. Let's measure that one first. Now you can measure from the tip of one arrowhead to the tip of the next, or you can measure where the extension lines come off and you're trying to determine the size. If I line that up, it looks to me like it's right on 1/8 of an inch down here. It's not quite 5 inches. So if you look at your diagram, if you need to, of the inch that we did, and remember we made that one a little bit larger. That was at a scale of 4-to-1 when we diagrammed the inch and labeled it. Now we're going to measure at a scale of 1-to-1. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, not quite 5 inches. So that would be 4 8/8 if it was at 5 inches, and it's not. It's at 4 7/8. So we can jot that down, 4 7/8 over here. And when we record the size down here, 4 7/8, we're going to record it as a decimal. Now, I wrote that nice and light so I can erase them. So the decimal equivalent of that first measurement is 4.875. And you can erase that fraction if you want to. So that's what I want you to do here. Another thing you might be unfamiliar with. So anyways, when we go to measure the location of the centers of these holes, for instance, you're going to measure. I'm going to turn this around so we can look at it this way. And we're going to say from the very bottom to the center of that circle, looks like it's at 0.75 or 3/4 of an inch. So we're going to write all our dimensions in a unidirectional fashion, 0.75. And we're going to put that third decimal number on there, even though normally we just eliminate the 0 there and be 0.75. But it says up here to use all 3 decimal places. I just want to see if you complete this, if there's an error, where it might be. So that's called a location dimension. This is called a size dimension. And then another size dimension are the diameters of these 2 circles. You can see there's a diameter symbol. So you're going to record the measurement right next to the diameter symbol, and the leader line only has 1 arrowhead on it, shows you what you're measuring. So, and this is the diameter symbol. Same with this one, you're going to put the measurement in here. Let's measure that little one first and see what we get. Oh, that's the metric side. Make sure you put the ruler so it passes through the center of that circle and go from one edge of the circumference, or the outside of the circle, to the other. And if you measure across there, it looks like that's 1/16, 2/16, that would be 1/8, 3/16, 4/16, 5/16, 6/16, but we don't write it as 6/16. We're going to reduce that to 3/8, right? 1/8, 2/8, 3/8. And this answer here is going to be 0.3 7, 5. Well, I'm not going to do them all for you. Hopefully we get together. I can see this paper and I could look at it for you. But if you know anybody in the household wants to double check your work, or if you're working with partners, come to an agreement as to what each of these dimensions would be. So you'll have one here, 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 and here. Just a little bit of practice. Good luck.